And you got to remember that Jinro, he basically just got mined out in his main. So the fact that he just now grabbed his own expansion, it's only keeping him on even footing. It's not even like it's taking an expansion. So I think, though, they are going to move out with everything they have. The little one offering up 6 Zealots and not a lot else.
That's all he's offering to supplement this massive Thor Marine army. It almost looks like the little one is in like a 5-minute game right now, where he would be in the game for 5 minutes. And that's it. He just doesn't have anything else to match the amount of army he has to Jinro's. He should have, like, you know, Immortals, Stalkers, Sentries, Colossus, but he just doesn't, because he's been knocked out of the game for so long. It's kind of a miracle he's actually was able to keep one probe alive to get himself back into this game at this stage. Now, I do like how he's got 2 robotics facilities here, just kind of like 2 gateways and then straight into robotics, because he needs the best unit he can possibly get right now. He can't get tier 2, he can't get tier 2.5, he's just got to go straight for tier 3, and that's why he's getting these super expensive Colossus out of 2 robo facilities. And the thing is, if he can get a large amount of Colossus, he can actually kind of hold his own, but he really does need around at least 4 or 5 to actually make his presence well known.
He is getting the Thermal Lance upgrade as well, in addition to having, you know, he's basically getting 2 robotics off of 1 base, which he can't really afford to get gateway units at the same time. Do note, though, the gold expansion in the center of the map for Artosis is getting bombarded here by Jinro, so they're really doing everything they can to keep themselves in this game, setting up their own ability to take that bottom center expansion, I do believe. The first 2 Colossus here are out. Is it going to be enough, though? I mean, they're doing as much damage as they can, but look at how many roaches Artosis has. He absolutely loves the roach.
He does love the roach, doesn't he? Well, I do have to commend Jinro and the little one for actually buying some ground back. They were actually able to push the territory and actually able to re-secure the little one's original base. That's actually quite amazing, considering that one player was knocked out for the first like 20 minutes. And look at that, they were able to shell down Artosis' expansion. That expansion is now gone, and it looks like Jinro is going to start shelling away at the bottom right hand corner. Could it be possible that the little one and Jinro are going to be able to somehow buy their way back into this game and actually make a game out of it? And look at that, some side storms going down from QXC, not really that much damage to the siege tanks and Thors, and I think Jinro is going to be able to shell his way to possibly getting a 50-50 split on this game. But look at this, Artosis dropping off a mass roach army, and this is going to be extremely deadly as they make their way towards the planetary fortress.
All right, here we go. It does look like he's going to try and lock this down. Is it going to be enough? There's no tanks here anymore to do the splash damage you need on the roaches. The Colossus just now going to show up to try and lock this down. I think this is exactly what they need to do. They've been defending too much. I think they just need to turn around and attack. And actually, is he going to kill that planetary fortress? He actually misclicked it a little bit, so let it survive way longer than it should. Gotta lose almost all these roaches now, as TLO does have 4 Colossus out now. And it looks, though, like Artosis' macro just going to be fine. He should be able to replace these almost instantly.
I think he will be able to replace those pretty quickly, but the thing is, he did lose quite a bit right now, and he needs a lot of roaches for this battle. Colossus is actually getting caught off guard by the roaches. The roaches unburrowed and picked one off, which is huge. 3 Colossus is a much different number from 4, but it looks like all the roaches are going to get taken out, and I can't believe this. The little one and Jinro, Team Europe, actually somehow able to hold on, but they did lose that planetary fortress. It was extremely close, but during this entire time that Jinro has to rebuild this fortress, his macro is going to suffer immensely. But it looks like they're going to try to recuperate by taking down this bottom right hand expansion that QXC is currently mining. The Colossus do outrange that Nexus and the cannons, but it looks like some Templar trying to come in here in a storm. They do get a couple of storms off on the Thors and Colossus, and somehow, some way, their ragtag army from Team Europe somehow is able to secure this entire bottom half corner of the map, and it looks like the little one desperately getting a second expansion up. He's been operating off of 1 base for the last 10 minutes.
Now, I really think that Jinro needs to lift off that command center in his main and try and fly it, I guess, all the way to the bottom right side. They're taking as many expansions as they possibly can, And is it gonna be enough though? I mean, we gotta remember that QXC and Artosis have had all these expansions the entire time. So they are gonna have to plow through wave after wave after wave of units. And QXC is at 179 supply, so it's definitely gonna be an uphill struggle if they, I mean, for Team Europe, which it's been this entire time. This just shows you how far behind it puts you in the early game if you lose, you know, your Nexus that early. And so it looks like the command center is going up. They are looking to secure it to try and keep themselves still going forward.
Look at the mass carriers we have coming out from QXC. Once again, transitioning into that late game carrier attack. And what can you do against these carriers? I mean, I don't even think they realize they did get a scan off on the carriers, but come on, you can't really transition to deal with those this quickly. You just need mass Vikings if you're Jinro right now. And if you're the little one, I guess you can go Void Race, but he just doesn't have the infrastructure to support a tech switch like that. All he's got is 2 gateways and 2 robotics facilities, and he does have a pretty nice army of Zealots and Colossus, but those carriers are going to be the bane to these Colossus, and I do like how Jinro has some Vikings. They might be able to pull this off, but there's a lot of infestors. They can mind control all of these Colossus, which would be absolutely devastating. The carrier's trying to do some damage overhead, and here comes the infestors. Do mind control 2 of the Colossus, and the entire army forced to fall back. The little one losing everything here.
Yeah, the positioning of Jinro and the little one, not the best, but at the same time, what are you supposed to do when they way outnumber you, especially with that many carriers? And so there we go. This game is going to be tied up 2-2, and they were going to play all 5 games anyways, but it's actually going to game 5 just straight up. So whoever is going to, you know, win the next game wins the whole series. So I cannot wait. We have seen some crazy early rushes here in the last 2 games, ended up working out. So we'll see, though. The next game is going to be on a shared base, and that was the map that the Team Europe had a lot of luck on. So yeah, let's go on to the next game.